Welcome back to Drama with Ted and Tina, where family loyalty means absolutely nothing and betrayal comes with protein shakes and fake real estate listings. In today's jaw-dropping story, a man discovers that not only is his fiancée emotionally entangled with someone else, but that someone else is his brother, and the mastermind behind the entire disaster, his own mother. But instead of screaming, he played it smart and watched their entire world collapse like a gym bro's ego on leg day. My name is Caleb Warner. I'm 31, a commercial electrician by day and, apparently, the designated scapegoat of my dysfunctional soap opera of a family. I was engaged to Riley, 28, who I once thought was a loyal, sharp-witted woman with a future. We'd been together for 2 years and engaged for 6 months. I was wrong. Living 15 minutes away in his flex-happy bachelor pad was my younger brother Trevor, 29, the walking protein ad with the emotional depth of a YouTube apology video. Our mother, Colleen, 55, has always been intense in that reads horoscopes like their legislation kind of way. Lately, though, she's gone from overbearing to outright disturbing, specifically when it came to Riley. It started with her casually commenting during dinners about how Trevor's really filled out at the gym and how some women just need a man who's more physically present. Apparently, she's under the impression that abs equal stability. I was working 50-60 hours a week, building our future. Trevor? He played with resistance bands and posted thirst traps, but to Colleen, he was Zeus in joggers and I was just the guy with the 401k. Things started unraveling during family dinners. Riley went from social butterfly to silent monk, barely touching her food and glued to her phone like it held the secrets of the universe. I chalked it up to wedding stress, centerpieces, dress fittings, Colleen's psychotic micromanagement. But something felt off. Then came yesterday, the day everything fell apart like a wet paper bag. Colleen invited Riley over to go over the seating chart while I was supposed to be knee-deep in conduit at a job site. Joke's on them. We finished early. I decided to surprise them, maybe grab lunch. I pulled up to Colleen's and noticed the blinds half-drawn like a bad movie. Something told me not to knock, so I crept around back and cracked open the kitchen window. And that's when I heard it. Colleen in full manipulation mode, dripping fake maternal concern like she was auditioning for a Hallmark villain. "Riley, honey," she cooed like a rattlesnake with a perm. "I'm only saying this because I care. Caleb's just like his father, always working, never around, but Trevor sees you. He understands what you need. He says he can tell how lonely you are." I froze. My whole body went cold. Riley, to her credit, didn't jump on the betrayal train instantly. She hesitated. "I don't know, Colleen," she said. "Caleb's been distant, yeah, but I don't want to hurt him." Cue Colleen slithering in for the kill. "You deserve passion, Riley. A real man, not just a paycheck, someone who's there. That's Trevor." I swear I could hear her smile through the wall. That fake, smug, I know better smile she wore at every parent-teacher conference growing up. And then came the dagger. Riley said, "Trevor's been texting me. It's nothing inappropriate." That was it. That was my cue. I walked in like the ghost of every bad decision they'd ever made. Riley nearly fainted. Trevor wasn't even there, but his fingerprints were all over this betrayal. "Colleen?" She had the gall to smile, like she was proud of her matchmaking. "Well," I said, voice flat, "so this is what wedding planning looks like now." Colleen sat up straighter like she was being honored for community service. "Someone had to say it," she snapped. "You're never home, always working. Riley needs—" "Trevor," I cut in, "you mean Mr. 3 failed relationships and a garage full of expired pre-workout. That Trevor?" Riley stammered. "It's not what you think." I extended my hand. "Let me see your phone." Silence. Her grip on that thing tightened like it was life support. And then Colleen launched into a tirade about how I was controlling. The woman who snoops through Dad's email just to keep him organized was calling me controlling. That's when I walked out, Riley scrambling after me with mascara tears and half-excuses falling out of her mouth like confetti at a pity parade. She followed me out into the driveway, voice cracking like she was auditioning for a soap opera. "I'm just confused, Caleb. Your mom's been in my head. I didn't mean for this to happen." Oh, so comforting. Cheating with emotional training wheels, I guess. She swore she'd delete Trevor's number, like deleting a contact undoes betrayal. I didn't say a word. just stared at her like she was a stranger who'd stolen Riley's fate. When I got home, I had 6 missed calls from Trevor. His final text? "We need to talk, bro." Nothing like a good old bro text after emotionally violating someone's life. Meanwhile, Colleen went full scorched earth on my voicemail, shrieking about how my paranoia was destroying a perfectly good woman. And Dad? He called with his usual Olympic-level fence-sitting. "You know how your mother gets, son. She means well, right, so did the Trojan horse." And that night, Riley moved into the guest room to get some space. I slept on the couch, wide awake, scrolling through 2 years of texts and memories, trying to figure out where it all went wrong. And then Malcolm, my best friend and eternal supplier of brutal honesty, dropped a nuclear truth bomb. Trevor's been showing up at the coffee shop by Riley's job every week, lunch hour, like clockwork, subtle as a train wreck, and Riley never mentioned it, not once. I was done playing detective in my own relationship. No more innocent texts or casual stalker coffee runs. I let them hang themselves with their own words. Then Colleen called again, left a voicemail talking about how Trevor always made time for family, conveniently ignoring the part where he was trying to infiltrate mine. I stared at my ceiling that night and thought, tomorrow's going to be a circus, and I'm done being the clown. The story exploded faster than a gender reveal in dry brush season. Everyone found out. My inbox turned into a battlefield of sympathy, speculation, and unsolicited advice. Yes, we tried couples counseling. No, I didn't know about the texts until the day I walked in. Yes, Trevor was still trying to call me. And no, I wasn't answering. Some people asked if this was fake because no mother would do this. And to them I say, congratulations on having a normal family. Riley texted me to say she'd be staying at her sister's for a while, until things cooled down. Cool. I was already sleeping like a bachelor in a studio apartment, so what's one less ghost in the house? Colleen had already called twice before 10 a.m., probably trying to spin a new narrative about how I was the neglectful one. I ignored her. If she wanted drama, she could film her own reality show. I was busy figuring out my next move, and drinking heavily flavored coffee to avoid smashing my phone with a hammer. And then came the fallout I should have predicted but still somehow underestimated. 3 weeks of pure hell. Riley started going out more. Girls' nights every Thursday, and sometimes Saturdays. I wanted to believe her, I really did. Until one Thursday she came home smelling like that god-awful cologne Trevor wears. You know the one? It's like Axe body spray and motor oil had a sweaty child. That night, she claimed she was out with Amber for drinks, but she was dressed more for a date than a casual margarita run. Her phone lit up non-stop with texts and that same damn sly grin she used to give me when we first started dating. I felt sick. So I trusted my gut, which at that point had better instincts than my heart, and drove past Trevor's apartment before meeting up with Malcolm. Her car was parked in the visitor slot like it had VIP access. I sat in my truck for 20 minutes, blood pressure playing dubstep against my temples. Then, through his ground-level window, I saw them. On his couch, her head on his shoulder, both locked into some laptop movie like they hadn't just imploded my life. It wasn't even passionate. It was comfortable. That hurt worse. I walked up to the door and knocked. Trevor opened it wearing a compression shirt so tight it looked painted on. Riley was in the loungewear I got her last Christmas. Her face froze. "How long?" I asked, straight to it. She cried. Not remorseful tears, caught in the act tears. Trevor stepped between us like he was in a soap opera standoff. "Bro, let's talk about this like adults." I ignored him. "How long?" Riley whispered, 2 months. It just happened. You were working late. Trevor gets me." I laughed, loud and bitter. "He gets you? The guy who sells knockoff protein powder out of his Honda, that guy?" It was the laugh of a man hitting bottom and deciding to start digging. Then it escalated. Trevor, being the emotionally stunted walking bench press he is, tried to swing on me. I grabbed his arm mid-punch and shoved him backward into his IKEA bookshelf. "You slept with my fiancée, and now you want to throw hands? Classy." I pulled out my phone and dialed Colleen on speaker. She picked up, instantly chipper. "Well, honey, I tried to tell you. Trevor's always been the stronger one. Riley needs a real man, someone passionate." It was like she'd been rehearsing it for months. Within hours, the family group chat was a war zone. Trevor played victim, claiming I threatened him after he threw the first punch. Riley posted a cryptic Instagram story with a butterfly emoji and a quote about following your heart. Colleen called half the family to explain how I'd pushed Riley away with my workaholic behavior. Dad stayed out of it, as usual. My sister texted me a single line. I am disgusted with all of them. I stared at the ring Riley left on the counter and thought, good. Let them have each other. I'm done being the collateral damage in someone else's fairy tale. Riley moved out while I was at work, like a burglar with a broken conscience. She took everything I ever gifted her, down to the throw blanket I won her at a carnival, and even snagged a few things that weren't hers, just for emotional garnish. Left the ring on the counter with a sticky note that said, I never meant to hurt you. That's funny considering she packed like a contestant on a game show. That night, Colleen hosted a family dinner like it was business as usual. Guess who showed up, holding hands like high school freshmen on prom night? Trevor and Riley. I didn't go, obviously. I spent the evening reviewing red flags I'd ignored. Like Riley's sudden interest in the gym, new clothes, the way she started turning her phone away when texting, her unexpected enthusiasm for family events Trevor randomly started attending. Colleen was practically glowing, like she'd orchestrated a royal engagement. If only she'd put that energy into being a decent human being. I wasn't sad anymore, I wasn't even angry. Just done. Done with Trevor's wannabe Al energy, Riley's helpless victim cosplay, and Colleen's psychotic meddling. They thought I'd roll over, show up to Christmas dinner like none of this happened and accept my role as the forgotten sibling. But I had other plans. I didn't scream, didn't throw punches, didn't commit felonies. I simply decided to start digging into Trevor's shady little fitness empire. All those supplements he bragged about selling? Yeah, turns out Mr. Biceps was getting his inventory from a back-alley distributor and repackaging them in his garage like a suburban drug cartel. And he was accepting payments only through Venmo and Cash App, proudly boasting about how he keeps it off the books. I didn't have to lift a finger. Just sent a few screenshots and links to the right people. Fitness Certification Board, IRS, local health authorities. Merry freaking Christmas. The fallout came fast. Trevor's certification was suspended like a kid caught cheating on a spelling test. Colleen lost her mind. She showed up at my apartment on a Tuesday morning like a banshee in leopard print, shrieking in the hallway that I was destroying the family. I stood there sipping coffee like it was popcorn. My neighbor, Mrs. Gallagher, filmed the entire thing and uploaded it to TikTok. Viral in under an hour. Colleen shouted, "You're just jealous because Trevor's a real man." I took a sip and deadpanned, "Real men pay their taxes, Mom." Her face twisted into a Picasso painting of rage. And it didn't end there. Colleen's real estate empire, the one she bragged about like she was the Zillow queen of the Midwest, it started crumbling too. Turns out, when someone starts digging through your 5-star reviews and discovers half are fake, and someone, definitely not me, flags your shady listings, it gets complicated. Her reputation took a nosedive, and the gossip circles she worshipped turned on her faster than Riley did on me. Riley, now fully invested in her life with Discount Thor, began seeing cracks in her golden boy. With Trevor's business in flames and his supplement hustle torched by the FDA, their weekend getaway got canceled. Turns out unlicensed trainers with suspended certifications don't exactly rake in vacation money. She tried to contact me through Malcolm, saying she missed our conversations. Sure, and I miss the version of her that hadn't turned into a traitor with an Instagram filter addiction. Malcolm shut her down cold. Caleb's got a promotion. He's too busy living well to entertain old ghosts. And he wasn't lying. All that rage, I channeled it into work. And wouldn't you know, rage productivity is a thing. I got a new position, bigger paycheck, and a company truck. Meanwhile, Trevor was packing his gym shorts and moving back in with Colleen. Nothing screams alpha like borrowing gas money from your mom. The family splintered like a dropped wine glass. Half of them blocked me for ruining Trevor's life. Good riddance. Those were the ones who thought scented candles made good birthday gifts. The other half? Cheering me on silently through group chat reactions and fire emojis. Trevor, meanwhile, kept posting cringe Facebook rants about haters and staying strong, while Colleen clutched her pearls on social media like she was the innocent matriarch of a fractured dynasty. Then came the final blow. Dad, who had been Switzerland through all this, finally saw the light. At a peace talk dinner Trevor and Colleen staged at his house, I played the recording of Colleen coaching Riley to choose Trevor over me. Dad's face went from confused to horrified to furious in 3 seconds flat. He asked Colleen to leave. Trevor tried to puff up again, posturing like an unpaid MMA fighter. I asked how his protein empire was doing. He swung at me. Again. Missed. Face planted into the coffee table. Nose shattered. That made 2 broken things. His face and his dignity. Riley cried like someone had killed her puppy. "This isn't what I wanted," she wailed. I looked her dead in the eye and said, "You made your bed. I just hope Trevor didn't sweat all over it." Then I walked out, leaving her sobbing, Trevor bleeding, and Colleen raging into the void like a Karen banned from Whole Foods. The next morning, the fallout became permanent. The fitness board published its ruling. Trevor was banned from training for 2 years minimum. Colleen's broker fired her after complaints surfaced about unethical practices and fake listings. And Riley? She launched a campaign of post-breakup damage control, telling mutual friends she made a mistake and acted out of confusion. I bet it was real confusing when she was cuddled up with my brother on his ratty IKEA couch. Meanwhile, I was busy enjoying peace, steady income, and the attention of someone new. Zoe, the receptionist from Trevor's former gym. Petty? Maybe. Satisfying? Beyond belief. Riley, now fully invested in her life with Discount Thor, began seeing cracks in her golden boy. With Trevor's business in flames and his supplement hustle torched by the FDA, their weekend getaway got cancelled. Turns out unlicensed trainers with suspended certifications don't exactly rake in vacation money. She tried to contact me through Malcolm, saying she missed our conversations. Sure, and I missed the version of her that hadn't turned into a traitor with an Instagram filter addiction. Malcolm shut her down cold. Caleb's got a promotion. He's too busy living well to entertain old ghosts. And he wasn't lying. All that rage, I channeled it into work. And wouldn't you know, rage productivity is a thing. I got a new position, bigger paycheck, and a company truck. Meanwhile, Trevor was packing his gym shorts and moving back in with Colleen. Nothing screams alpha like borrowing gas money from your mom. The family splintered like a dropped wine glass. Half of them blocked me for ruining Trevor's life. Good riddance. Those were the ones who thought scented candles made good birthday gifts. The other half? Cheering me on silently through group chat reactions and fire emojis. Trevor, meanwhile, kept posting cringe Facebook rants about haters and staying strong, while Colleen clutched her pearls on social media like she was the innocent matriarch of a fractured dynasty. Then came the final blow. Dad, who had been Switzerland through all this, finally saw the light. At a peace talk dinner Trevor and Colleen staged at his house, I played the recording of Colleen coaching Riley to choose Trevor over me. Dad's face went from confused to horrified to furious in 3 seconds flat. He asked Colleen to leave. Trevor tried to puff up again, posturing like an unpaid MMA fighter. I asked how his protein empire was doing. He swung at me. Again. Missed. Face planted into the coffee table, nose shattered. That made 2 broken things. His face and his dignity. Riley cried like someone had killed her puppy. "This isn't what I wanted," she wailed. I looked her dead in the eye and said, "You made your bed. I just hope Trevor didn't sweat all over it." Then I walked out, leaving her sobbing, Trevor bleeding, and Colleen raging into the void like a Karen banned from Whole Foods. The next morning, the fallout became permanent. The fitness board published its ruling. Trevor was banned from training for 2 years minimum. Colleen's broker fired her after complaints surfaced about unethical practices and fake listings. And Riley? She launched a campaign of post-breakup damage control, telling mutual friends she made a mistake and acted out of confusion. I bet it was real confusing when she was cuddled up with my brother on his ratty IKEA couch. Meanwhile, I was busy enjoying peace, steady income, and the attention of someone new. Zoe, the receptionist from Trevor's former gym. Petty? Maybe. Satisfying? Beyond belief. Colleen, still desperate to reclaim her crumbling crown, insisted on another family dinner, her usual attempt to force unity with overcooked roast and emotional blackmail. This time, I decided to attend. And I didn't come alone. I brought Zoe. Tall, confident, and exactly the type of woman who doesn't need a man's mother to build her a fiancé out of spare parts. The second we walked in, Colleen's eyes widened like she'd seen a ghost with a mortgage. Trevor was there, of course, wearing his old high school Letterman jacket like it was body armor. Riley was next to him, trying to make eye contact with me like we were still in the same universe. She even wore the earrings I gave her for our first anniversary. I smiled, gave her a quick nod, and turned back to Zoe, who was asking Dad how his golf swing was coming along. The air was so thick with resentment you could have sliced it and served it with gravy. I casually updated everyone on my new role: supervisor, full benefits, a company vehicle. Dad, now fully Team Caleb, kept the conversation focused on me while Colleen attempted multiple course corrections. But the spotlight had moved. Then Trevor snapped. "You ruined my life, man," he yelled, fork clattering. Colleen jumped in like she was defending a toddler from a playground bully. "He's your brother!" she screeched. I calmly ate a bite of mashed potatoes and said, "Maybe if he didn't treat life like a protein shake pyramid scheme, we wouldn't be here." Trevor stood up, veins popping, face red, fists clenched like a rejected Mortal Kombat character. "You're jealous," he spat. I laughed. Loud. Jealous of what? Your expired Way Empire? Your eviction notice? Your Instagram lives with 3 viewers and a ring light from Goodwill? He went quiet. Riley tried to chime in. "Can't we just move past this?" I didn't even look at her. Move past what? Your decision to downgrade to a guy who can't afford Dollar General creatine? Mom's real estate business didn't recover. Turns out people don't love working with agents whose offices get shut down by the building inspector. Apparently, the electrical work Trevor did in her building was, shockingly, not up to code. Some anonymous tipster, definitely not me, had sent photos to the local building department. The office was closed for 2 weeks, costing her 3 pending sales and a ton of commission. Her little real estate clique, the one she used to brag about like they were the cast of Selling Sunset, now whispered behind her back. Meanwhile, Riley found herself increasingly isolated. Word of the scandal got around, and parents at the school where she taught weren't thrilled about her extracurricular love triangle. Rumor has it she's job hunting in a new district, hoping her reputation doesn't travel faster than her resume. Me? I was thriving. Better apartment, better life, better woman, and the best sleep I've ever had, knowing I didn't have to ruin them. They did it all themselves. Colleen still calls sometimes. Her voicemails are a mix of whining, revisionist history, and theatrical sniffles. "You've torn this family apart, Caleb." "No, Mom. You tried to trade your firstborn for abs and Instagram clout, and now you're mad the fallout doesn't come with a refund policy." I let her messages rot in voicemail hell. Trevor had the gall to try and connect with me on LinkedIn, like we were colleagues networking over betrayal and protein powder. Denied. Riley sent a long, melodramatic email titled "Foreclosure." I didn't open it, just deleted it, unread. You don't get closure after torching a relationship with your boyfriend's brother and then playing the victim in front of a ring light. They wanted a stronger man. They got one, just not the version they expected. The kind who doesn't chase, doesn't forgive performative apologies, and doesn't forget who lit the match. And then there was Sunday, Colleen's final Hail Mary, another family dinner. She framed it as a healing meal, which sounded more like a trap with lasagna. I showed up again, this time in a tailored shirt and confidence thick enough to make Trevor's hair gel blush. Zoe came too. Calm, elegant, charming enough to turn even the judgmental great aunt on my side. Colleen almost choked on her Chardonnay when she saw us. Trevor looked like he'd just lost a push-up contest to a houseplant. Riley stared daggers. Trevor, unable to keep it together, shouted that I'd sabotaged his life, that I was vindictive and toxic. I didn't flinch. You tried to steal my fiancée and punch me twice. But yeah, I'm the toxic one. He tried another outburst. I just turned to Dad and said, "He's still living at home, right?" Dad nodded. "Yep." "Basement. Rent-free." Colleen tried to spin it, but Dad cut her off. "I'm tired of the favoritism, Colleen. I'm sleeping in the guest room now. Maybe that's where I'll stay." I didn't need revenge. I didn't need justice. I just needed time. And they gave me everything else. Trevor's strength meant nothing when the life he built was made of lies and expired whey. Colleen's manipulations collapsed the empire she thought would make her the matriarch of a dynasty. And Riley, last I heard, she's still trying to convince herself she made a bold choice instead of a catastrophic one. Me? I'm good. Zoe's amazing. My career is thriving. And every night I sleep like a king, knowing I didn't lift a single finger to destroy them. I just held up a mirror and let them watch themselves fall apart. They thought I'd crack. They thought I'd come crawling back. They thought they'd win. And that's the funniest part of all, because I didn't lose a damned thing. They did. And now? I let the phone ring, the emails pile up, and the guilt marinate. They wanted a stronger man. They got one, just not on their terms. They wanted a stronger man, and they got one, just not the kind who sticks around for betrayal brunch and family dinner delusions. In the end, I didn't raise my voice, throw a punch, or beg for loyalty. I let the truth rot in their hands while my life got better without them. If you enjoyed this brutal takedown served cold, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. Here at Drama with Ted and Tina, we don't chase closure, we watch karma do her job in silence. Thanks for watching, and remember, the best revenge is living well while they collapse under the weight of their own lies.